There are war movies, and then there is Come and See, released in 1985 during the late Soviet era. This film isn't just a war drama, it's a psychological assault on the senses. Directed by Elem Klimov, the movie tears apart the usual glorified depictions of World War II and instead drags viewers directly into the mud, blood, and horror of Nazi-occupied Belarus. Unlike traditional war films filled with patriotic music and heroic sacrifice, this one dares to strip away any sense of comfort. It throws you into the perspective of a child soldier, forcing you to witness the nightmare of war through eyes that are still too young to fully understand it. From the very first frames, Come and See makes a promise: it will show you things you cannot unsee. The cries, the silence, the terror, all captured with an unflinching realism. It's not just a film you watch, it's a film you survive. And that's exactly why it's considered one of the most disturbing, unforgettable, and yes, banned movies in history. The film features an exceptional cast that carried the weight of one of cinema's most haunting war stories. The lead role of Florya, a teenage boy whose life is shattered by war, was played by Alexei Kravchenko. Just 14 years old at the time, Kravchenko wasn't a professional actor. Yet his performance was so raw and real that many believed he had lived through the events himself. Opposite him was Olga Mironova, playing Glasha, a young girl who becomes his companion amid the chaos. Despite her limited film career, her performance in Come and See is unforgettable, radiating both fragility and resilience. Behind the camera, director Elem Klimov poured years of frustration and vision into the project. His wife, renowned director Larisa Shepitko, had originally been involved before her untimely death, leaving Klimov to carry on their shared dream. Cinematographer Alexei Rodionov deserves equal credit. His stark and terrifying visual style turned the film into a living nightmare. The cast and crew risked everything, even their mental health, to create what many consider the most realistic anti-war film ever made. In 1943, Florya and another boy dig up a rifle from a trench to join the boat. They do so in defiance of their village elder, who warns them that this would arouse the suspicions of the boat. The boys' activities are noticed by a full 189 reconnaissance aircraft. The next day, partisans arrive at Florya's house to him against his mother's wishes. Florya is taken to a partisan camp in the forest, where he becomes a low rank who performs menial tasks. When those partisans trained to fight leave, their commander Kosach orders Florya and several other men to remain behind at the camp. Bitterly disappointed, Florya walks into the forest weeping. He comes across Glasha, an emotionally unstable adolescent girl working as a partisan nurse. The forest is suddenly attacked by and Nice, forcing the duo to flee. They hide from German officers passing through the forest and sleep under a tree for the night. Florya and Glasha travel to his village, only to find it deserted. Denying that his family is dead, Florya believes they are hiding on a nearby island across sea and runs off. Glasha follows, by chance seeing a pile of executed villagers behind his house before yelling at Florya to leave quickly. They become hysterical after wading through the bog, where Glasha screams at Florya that his family is dead. Rubej, a partisan fighter, rescues them and takes them to meet the surviving villagers. The village elder, severely burned by gasoline, tells Florya of his family's deaths and repeats his warning about digging up the rifle. Florya attempts suicide out of guilt by submerging his head in the bog, but Glasha and the villagers stop him. Rubej takes Florya and two other men to raid a warehouse for food. The group find the warehouse unexpectedly guarded by German troops, and are forced to retreat. Florya's two comrades are killed by it. Rubej and Florya coerce a Nazi collaborating farmer to hand over his cow, but a German kills Rubej and the cow. Florya attempts to steal a horse and cart from another man to transport the cow, but he convinces Florya to hide his gun and jacket as troops appear. He takes Florya to his house in Parakoti village. German troops surround and occupy the village. Florya runs outside and sees women, children, and the elderly being forcibly marched down the street. Florya warns them that they are being herded to their deaths, but he is forced into with them. The Germans barricade the doors, leaving the people inside screaming while the soldiers laugh. Florya and a young woman with a child exit the church. The woman's child is thrown back in while she is dragged off to be. The soldiers throw explosives into the church and barricade the windows. The church is set on fire, killing everyone inside as the soldiers celebrate. A German officer holds a pistol to Florya's head to pose for a picture, then abandons him as the soldiers leave. These two photos, left and right, were merged by Klimov to create the picture that Florya stops shooting at. Florya wanders away from the scorched village, finding the aftermath of a partisan ambush on the escaping Germans. Florya recovers his jacket and rifle, only to spot the gang-raped woman bleeding and stumbling in a passant. He finds Kosach and the partisans nearby, having captured some of the Germans and their collaborators responsible for the church fire. They plead for their lives, blaming a fanatical and unapologetic John. Kosach suggests that one collaborator douse the others with petrol. He willingly does so, but the partisans shoot them all before they can be set on fire. As the partisans leave, Florya notices a boy looking at a painting of Hitler in a puddle. When the boy leaves, Florya repeatedly shoots the portrait. Of clips from Hitler's life plays in reverse, but when Hitler is shown as a baby on his lap, Florya stops shooting and cries. A title card states, Florya rushes to rejoin his comrades. Now, why would a film about World War II, an event widely covered in Soviet cinema, face bans and controversy? The answer is simple. Come and See was too much, too raw, too disturbing. In the Soviet Union, the state had complete control over cinema. War films were often used as propaganda to glorify sacrifice and heroism, but Come and See spat in the face of that tradition. It didn't glorify war, it stripped it bare, exposing its cruelty, its inhumanity, its trauma. Instead of cheering for victory, viewers were left broken, disturbed, and horrified. That was dangerous to the Soviet regime, which wanted controlled narratives of great patriotic triumph. The film faced heavy censorship during its production. Klimov fought for years just to get approval, with authorities terrified of its unrelenting brutality. When it was finally released in 1985, many countries banned or censored it due to its extreme psychological intensity. Some theaters refused to show it, arguing it was too graphic for public audiences. In the West, the problem was similar. Distributors hesitated. Critics admitted it was a masterpiece, but warned it was unwatchable. The bans weren't just about violence. They were about how Come and See strips away illusions and forces people to look directly at human evil without the comfort of distance or heroism. Despite or perhaps because of the bans, Come and See has grown into one of the most important films ever made. Today, it is widely regarded as a masterpiece of anti-war cinema, often listed alongside Schindler's List, Grave of the Fireflies, and Paths of Glory. But many argue it stands above them all. The film's legacy lies in its honesty. Elem Klimov said he wanted to create a film that would burn through generations, so that no one would ever dare start a war again. And in many ways, he succeeded. Viewers describe being haunted for days, even weeks, after watching it. The aging of Florya's face throughout the film, transforming from a child into an old man by the end, has become one of cinema's most iconic images. Today, critics and filmmakers hail Come and See as essential viewing. Yet, it still carries warnings. It's not for the faint of heart, and it's not meant for casual entertainment. This is a film that demands endurance, empathy, and courage from the audience. It has influenced countless directors, including Steven Spielberg, who admitted its impact on Schindler's List. Film schools use it as a study in both technique and storytelling, and audiences, decades later, still approach it with both fear and reverence. Come and See isn't just a film, it's a wound carved into cinema history. It dares to show war without filters, without propaganda, without mercy. And because of that, it was silenced, banned, and hidden. But it survived. And now, it stands as a chilling reminder of what cinema can do when it refuses to lie. So, if you ever decide to watch it, remember, it's not just a movie you'll be seeing. It's an experience that will follow you long after the credits roll.